stories. And of course now we're trying to figure out how to get them health care in the present system. However, there is the House Bill 676, and it is for expanded and improved Medicare for all. All these people who are falling through these cracks in these tragic situations, this would be the answer. And people would have health care from birth to death. It wouldn't be tied to employers. If you lost your job, you'd still have access to health care at a reasonable amount and never be afraid of bankruptcies. So, I'm asking you, Congresswoman Fudge, I know you support it. We welcome you to become a co-sponsor. There are 51 Congress people who have sponsored this. Would you be willing to co-sponsor this bill?
I'm certainly willing to do it. You know, I looked back at them because she said, we will take care of it next week. Love the shirt.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Malia Ruiz. I live in Cleveland Heights. I am an immigrant. However, I'm here to talk about something else. We're standing here in Tri-C, which is the Cuyahoga Community College. Community colleges receive their funding primarily through the Perkins Act. And we have a strong sense in this country that somehow there are employment problems and people cannot find jobs, when the reality is that we have jobs going empty because people do not have the correct training to fill those jobs. Immigrants who have those skills get them because they have the skills, not because they're immigrants. The Perkins Reauthorization Act was passed by Congress last September, I believe.
Correct.
It is still sitting on Rob Perkins' desk. It has not made it to the Senate. What can we do to get that passed? It will improve our education system and our employment situation.
And maybe now that once we get through this week, they're probably going to turn their phones back on. Because, the Senate has shut down their phone system. So I think it's going to be important to continue. The first thing I say is to go to Rob's office, to go to his office. Because they can't ignore you if you're physically standing there. But the other thing is, this is what would help me, is that the people, if you can get, say, for instance, a petition or something, I will personally take it to Rob. I will personally do it and say, look, I have a meeting, this is what they asked for. I'm a strong supporter of the Perkins Act. I'm on the Education Committee, which I'm sure you probably know. We thought we had a good bill, not a perfect one, but a good one. A bipartisan bill. I don't know why they haven't done anything with it. So I'm willing to go on their behalf to the members of the Senate that I'm aware of that are, for some reason, holding it up and try to advocate as best I can. If you get me some signatures, get me some letters, anything, I will take it to him.
Thank you very much.
Congresswoman Fudge, I'm Barney Gordon from Indivisible Shaker. Today in Atlanta, they are voting for the new DNC chair. I'm aware that you are advocating for Jamie Harrison as opposed to either of the two front runners, Keith Ellison or Tom Perez. He is out. So my question to you is, are you advocating for anyone else in particular, and why? Or why not?
I'm not advocating for either of the other two. I think they're fine candidates. I don't have a vote. So that's why I'm here, not in Atlanta. And so I think that, both of them would make fine chairs, and I'm going to let the people that have the vote make that decision.
What do you think that they should be doing?
Well, I think that they've had a number of various debates. They have met with them individually as delegations. They have talked with them individually. I just hope they will make the decision that they believe is best for the party. There are only three things that I ask of anyone that's going to be the chair of the party, but they do it as a full-time person. We cannot have a part-time. That is part of the problem we've had in the past. That they start to build the party from the ground up and not from the top down. If they make a commitment. they make a commitment to listen to people who have been elected and who do have constituencies and who do work in this party, and not make it just something that's all internal. They have to listen to us sometimes. Because I think that we know better who our people are and what our people believe and what our people think. Those are the three things. I've talked to them about.
So you would say that the previous DNC chairs were not listening to the Democratic
Well, I think that you have to realize that they weren't. That's number one. But number two, you have to realize that during the Obama years, he put OFA over the DNC. So the DNC really was an organization that really had no direction, because OFA really ran elections and did the outreach. And so now that there is no President Obama at the top, there is no OFA, we now have to strengthen the party, and we have to strengthen it from the ground up.
Thank you very much.
What are we doing? Linda?
We're good.
Okay.
Good morning, Congresswoman Fudge. I'm Gail Feaston and I live in South Euclid. My concern is that I'm a federal employee and the Trump administration is out to hurt federal employees. They're talking about bringing the Holman Act back, where a supervisor can fire somebody just because, whatever reason, just because they don't like them. And
cut your pay and your benefits.
what?
They want to cut your pay and your benefits.
Yeah, that too. That worries me also. So that's why I'm really concerned about that, and I'd like you to fight against that.
One of his first executive orders was to freeze the pay, and freeze federal hiring. And I mean, he's coming after federal employees big time. Well, because Republicans think we make too much money. I'm a federal employee. They think we make too much money. They think our benefits are too good. Although there are people who work in the very building I work in who qualify for food stamps, who are federal employees. So we're going to fight them. That's all we can do. They want to increase significantly money for military, but take money away from people who work for the federal government. So we're going to be as combative as we know how to be. But certainly, we can't, the problem we have right now, and I use this terminology, and I think I used it someplace else, we are not playing whack-a-mole with the President of the United States. Every day he pops his head up on this issue, that issue, that issue, and every time we hit him, he pops up in another hole. So, figure it out. What issues we really can fight and stand together on and be strategic, because these guys all over the place every day, we're jumping all around, so we have to be more focused. So that is one of the things we're going to focus on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Good morning. My name is Sue Biajanti. I live in South Euclid. I'm a member of the Shaker Heights Huddle, one of the thousands of huddles across the country. I represent, we have 35 members in our huddle. And while we agree with everything that everybody else has currently said, we think the two really urgent things right now are to demand the release of Donald Trump's tax returns